Hey guys, Players in Green here with another tutorial. It's been a while since I've done one. Sorry, I've been extremely busy and I don't always have a lot of time to do tutorials with all the work and designs I've been doing lately. I haven't had a lot of free time. So I was gonna do a tutorial on fire and how to make someone look like they're in flames, but I've been trying to find a technique that works on all imagery, and it's been a little difficult. So I'm sorry to those who I said I would do the fire tutorial. Hopefully I'll get to it soon. But instead, I'm gonna do one that a lot of people asked about, which was how to do like the fur on the players. And as you see right here, this is my Brandon Marshall one, and where I had put the bear fur on him and added the bear mouth to his face and the red eyes. And I thought this was something cool that a lot of people can use, and I thought it was like a neat design. I haven't really done anything similar, but I thought it was something pretty cool, and I was going to kind of show you guys how to do it. And here's what I kind of practice with. Now this doesn't look that good. I put very little time into this, but I'm going to show you guys how you can put the fur on some players and make them look like animals. So here I have Ricky Rubio, the Minnesota Timberwolves, looking kind of like a Timberwolf. I added the nose to him and some fur, and I obviously didn't do his legs. I could have added maybe a tail, done some lighting, and maybe put him more in a forest environment with some wolves maybe. I don't know. Just something, if you guys want to take this to the next level and make this a design of yours, just tag me in it so I can see how it comes out. But so I'm going to kind of show you here how you would get this result. So all I started with is this picture of this wolf and Ricky Rubio. So how I'm going to do this is, first I'm going to rotate this image. So transfer horizontal. Alright, and what I like to do, and not everyone does it this way, you can just select the nose and just put it on his face, but I like to take the clone tool to do this. And I'll take a nice feathered brush to clone this onto his face. So as always, you hit the Alt, and you select on the nose where you want to copy. So I'm going to start like right here, and just watch from where you're selecting. Now you can go back and delete afterwards, but let me make sure I get the whole nose here. Alright, I think that's solid. We got most of the nose in here, so I'm going to add a mask to this now so I can delete the parts of the nose that shouldn't be here. Oh, my opacity isn't all the way up. Make sure your opacity is at 100 when you add the masking. If you don't know how to add a mask, you can go watch. I have some tutorials on how to do masking. It's extremely good to know how to mask, especially in Photoshop. The masking, you can always go back and fix things. So alright, so now we have the nose on his face, and it doesn't look that realistic. It looks kind of weird. Honestly, it's a little too big, so I'm going to size it down. Alright, I think that looks a little bit better. It's not perfect, but I don't have enough time to make it perfect. Alright, so there we go. We got some of that on him, some of the nose on him. And now, like, the trick to fur, and I think a lot of people who try to do fur get this messed up, is you don't want to add all of the fur onto his body. Because when you do that, you lose the identification of the person. Like, you cannot identify who this person is if I just add all this fur. Maybe because you know the number of Ricky Rubio, which he's number 9, but you wouldn't be able to tell who it was if it wasn't for the fact of the number on his jersey, and Timberwolves and people who aren't even Timberwolves fans probably wouldn't know. So the key to fur is you want to add spots of fur, not the whole thing. So I'll show you. I'm going to add another layer here. Click on my clone tool, and I'm going to select around here with the fur. So I'm going to add some fur, and you just kind of spot it on. You don't want to add it just everywhere so it covers his whole face. You want to be able to see some skin. Let's make sure we get onto the chin here. And I'll add the link to these pictures in the description, guys, to make sure everyone gets it. You can test this out. See, I'm just kind of spotting the fur, and I can go back and make some corrections as well. But see, like even this is a little bit too much for my liking, because like I said, what happens is it becomes too much. And I'm going to add a mask to this as well, so I can go back and clean up some things like his eye right here. I'm going to go back in and fix some of this up, but I'm going to finish off the fur on the arms now as well. And let me go do that. So I'll select my brush, select where I want it. So let's start around like right here. And the same thing here, I'm going to make a bigger brush. I'm going to get a size 100. Same thing here, you don't want to add so much fur that you can't see his arm. And one thing that I always think is important is make sure the fur looks like it's coming off his arm. It's a nice little detail, like off the sides. Add some to his hand here. And I can go back and touch some of this stuff up because it is cloned. And now we gotta do the other arm, and this is where I'm gonna rotate this image. Make it horizontal, flip it over. And now I'll select over here and do this arm. Like I said again, I'm just gonna go through and add spots of fur, not everywhere. We don't want the fur everywhere. Alright, so we have our fur on Ricky Rubio, and it looks alright. Not my best clone job tool, but I'm kind of rushing through it. And one thing that I like to do when I put fur on the person is to semi-match the skin color to the fur, because right now it's too much of a contrast. Like, you wouldn't see this. So what I would do is, I don't have Ricky Rubio masked right now, so it's gonna be kind of quick. I'm gonna go with my selection tool. I'm just gonna go through and select this skin. Now, like I said, this selection is gonna be really quickly done, so it's not going to be the perfect job. Alright, so we got that part. Now we got to add the other arm here. Alright, and I really don't care how accurate this is. It's not a big deal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Leia via copy on the right click on that selection, and that'll give me that option. And I'm going to go to image adjustment and the hue and saturation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring down the saturation on his skin, and see, it makes it look a little more realistic than if it's just this bright, like, look, there's too much of a contrast there. So now it looks like it actually belongs on him a little bit more. And I like to play around with the opacity on the fur. There you go. I like that. It looks a little bit more like it's on him. And overall, this doesn't look too bad. I like what we kind of have. I can go in, though, with a brush, like a brush that's kind of feathered, a little rough. There's a lot of brushes on Brush Easies you guys should download if you have the time and a chance to. Like this one, let's lower the opacity and the flow. I'm going to take this brush and just kind of touch up the skin in some places. You really can't see what it's doing, but it's getting rid of some of this fur that's kind of unnecessary. I did not do a great job with this crop on the nose. Did a pretty bad job. Go back in and fix this. Whoops. Raise the opacity and the flow again. Man, yeah, really, I did a bad job. This is why you gotta take your time, make sure it's perfect. Yeah, not the greatest job on the nose. I'll take the fall for that one. But I think this is kind of cool. Like, the fur does feel like it's a part of them. Like, I think it's a pretty cool feature. I mean, pretty cool thing you can do. Yeah, my other result of him came out a little different. The nose was a little bit higher. I mean, you could play around with the nose, make sure it looks realistic, it looks right. Like I said, I'm not going to make a design out of this. I just wanted to teach you guys how to use the fur, and that's kind of how you would apply it to the player, like just in spots, not all at once. You don't want, I'll show you exactly what I've seen people do, and it looks horrible, and I'm sorry, you know, like, to anyone who's done this, but when you do this, make a new layer here, you just hit control and go. It just looks so awful. It doesn't look correct in any way. And you don't even have to do this. People don't even use the clone tool. They'll just select an area of hair and just plop it right on top of the player, and it looks terrible. That's not how you add fur to someone. So I kind of hope you took out of this that you learned how to apply some fur to a player, and you can make a design out of this. You know, use my lighting tutorial, and like I said, use a nice background with this, create one, whatever, and then maybe you can make something out of a Rubio design. But with any player that you want to turn into an animal, I think this is pretty neat. But I hope you learned something out of this. I don't know what my next tutorial will be, and I don't know when it will be. My schedule's been really jam-packed, and to those who I told I'd do a collab with, I'm sorry, I really don't have time to. I told like 3 people I would, and I only ended up doing it with 1 person. So those who watch, I'm sorry, I don't have time to do collaborations. But I can tell you, if you watch this, my next design will be the Captain America vs. Iron Man for my superhero series. I won't tell you which player is Captain America or Iron Man, but that should be out by the weekend, hopefully, around Saturday or Sunday. But thanks guys for watching once again. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Hope you learned something out of it. Subscribe to my channel. You can kick message me at Players in Green, Instagram Players in Green, Twitter Players in Green. Everything's Players in Green. Email me playersingreen@gmail.com if you have any questions. But thanks again guys for watching, and subscribe to my channel.